Hello and welcome back to another video where today I'm going to be talking you through my triathlon / TT bike that I'm going to be using for my Ironman. Hello and welcome back to the channel. As you might have seen in my previous video, which if you haven't watched you should definitely do it because I embarrassed myself quite a lot, made a few mistakes on the Tour de Zwift series race, which as a cyclist, big no-nos, you shouldn't do them, and I did. So go and watch that if you haven't. But I said that I was going to run through my TT / triathlon bike, which I'm going to do. Why would you possibly want to watch a video of me going through my triathlon bike? Well, basically, before I got it, I watched heaps of them on YouTube, about a million different videos of people's different builds to give me an idea of what I wanted for my bike. So I thought, why not do it myself? It might give you a bit of information about why I've gone for what I've gone for, what I've got on it specifically. Now, before I end up rambling on for too long about a load of unnecessary information that you really couldn't care less about, let me give you a quick bit of information about the bike. I've only had it for about 6 weeks. It was built on a little bit of a budget. It's not the best of the best stuff. For me, it is perfect. I think it looks really quite cool. But yeah, let me set up a shot because it is useless having my bike sat over there and try and run through it with you. So give me a few seconds. Could I sit on the sofa? No. Could I just sit here? No. What about? No. No. That might do. In the tree. Yeah, let's try that. Too much light in the background. Oh, this is going to be dangerous. Better? Yeah, that'll do. So, welcome to my bike. Here it is. Take a good look. And that's it. Hope you enjoyed. See you later. Hopefully you can see my bike okay, enough for me to run through it. So I will start at the front end, go through what I've got up here, and I'll work my way back. So to start with, let's talk about the cockpit. So I've got a full drag to zero kind of setup. So I've got their arm cups, their carbon extensions with their grips, a 15-degree shim, their pole clamp. These have been amazing, really good product. So I've got a mechanical setup. So I have the Shimano Prorace mechanical shifter. I have only got a 1x setup, which I will get onto later. So I've only got one shifter up there. Next, base bar. So the base bar in the frame, so basically the base bar, the frame, the fork, and the seat post is all from a Belgian company called Prorace. I got this frame on a really good deal for a TT or triathlon bike with integrated brakes that are kind of hidden away, and this integrated stem and kind of cockpit area. I got it really cheap. It was on a good deal compared to getting a Cervelo or something like that. It was really worth the money. So that's why when I say this is kind of built on a budget, that's kind of why that was my starting point. But to be honest with you, so far I can't fault it. It looks pretty good. There are a few things which are a little bit annoying about the build, but I'll run through it first and then I'll get onto them. Brake levers, I've gone for cheap and cheerful. These are, is it pronounced Tetro? Something like that. But they're the Cane Creek brake levers. Again, quite cheap, but they're alright. They kind of do the job. They're not too bad. The only thing that does annoy me is they have got a little bit like play in them. Now I'm not sure if that's just because the way that I've actually cabled the brakes or it's the brake levers themselves. Probably my fault, but yeah, they're alright. This is some old bar tape. This is some Physique bar tape, which I got off my road bike when I put new bars on there. Wheel set is a 50mm clincher prime the Black Edition wheel set. Absolutely love them. I will give you a little sound test on the rear hub because I think it sounds really nice. Tyres, I've got Vittoria Corsa Graphene 2.0s. I think they are both 25C. Again, I'm happy with them. They haven't punctured for me yet, and I've had them 6 months maybe. So I've done a fair few miles on them, but they've been great. And I love the tan wool or white wool, whatever you call it, yellow. So let's move slightly further back. I think that's the front end. Also, so the brakes themselves are actually made by Prorace as well, so they came with the frame set. Again, they're hidden away, so they've got the front ones behind this little plastic or carbon or whatever that is there, and then another one under the bottom bracket for the rear brake, obviously. Anything else I need to run through? Headset again, came with the bike, not sure what it is. Prorace supply it, but it feels fine. Nothing that again, this is kind of built on a bit of a budget, so the more I could get with the frame set, the better. Let's move down to the drivetrain. These are 165mm Shimano 105 R7000 cranks. The reason I've gone with 165mm is I'm built a bit like a hobbit. I'm not that tall. I'm like 5'9" maybe. And when you're in the TT position, the more open I can get my hip, the better. So having a shorter crank allows me to make shorter circles with my feet, and then therefore open up my hip angle a bit more, so I can put a bit more power through the pedals and hopefully be able to run fresher off the bike when it comes to Ironman. So the cranks came with a 50-30 tooth compact set, so I've changed that to this stone 52 tooth chainring, narrow wide. As I said, I've gone 1x. We'll talk about that in a second, but I've actually had to bodge this a little bit. I bought this for a 5800 105 cranks, so as you can see under here, I've actually had to hacksaw out a bit to get the crank arm to fit it. Hopefully it holds up, we'll see in the near future. With that, I've got it's Shimano 105 pedals. Again, you know, pretty cheap and cheerful. This chain ring was actually from AliExpress, so that was about £35–40 cheap again. I've got an Elite Chrono Aero bottle, which I'm actually yet to use. I've never even used it, but it looks quite cool on there. Now, bottom bracket, I went with a Prime. It's a press fit, so it's a Prime. I bought a Prime press fit bottom bracket. That didn't come with the bike. I had to buy that separately. But again, you know, it was cheap. It was probably one of the cheaper ones I could find, and it seems to be working okay. Chain, I've actually gone, I think this is the Shimano, I think it might be an Ultegra chain. Again, not too expensive. It was around the £20–25 mark. And again, been absolutely fine so far. So rear wheel, obviously the same as the front, the Prime 50mm clincher. The rear derailleur is an Ultegra one with a clutch. Why, you might be asking, or what is this clutch mechanism? Now, I don't actually know the ins and outs of how the clutch works in it, but I do know what it does is allows you to, when you're running a 1x system, you obviously haven't got your front derailleur here to catch the chain if it falls off, which when it's bouncing about and stuff and you're going over things and your chain's sort of doing this, it can fall off. So that's why I've gone with a narrow wide chain ring, which allows the teeth are basically bigger. They're like a lot taller than you would normally get. And also they go from being a narrow one to a wider tooth, which then fits inside the narrow and wider kind of links in the chain. So again, it just tightens it up and makes it less likely to fall off. And that clutch mechanism on the derailleur also helps do that. I think it increases the chain tension once you've shifted. So then again, it just has less chance of bouncing off. And again, that is I think that's the medium cage version. And I've got an 11 to 28 tooth, so it's 11 speed cassette on the back. which for me and kind of the races that I'm planning on doing and around here is fine. There's no massive hills that I'm planning on climbing up on this bike, so that kind of seems to work for me for the moment, although I haven't actually done that much outdoor riding on it since it's been terrible weather here in the UK. Is that it? No. Seat, that is the ISM P2.1 saddle. Again, no complaints. That one was a bit more expensive, but the seat and the bars I've gone with slightly higher end quality, just because I'm going to be sat in that position for so long that the more comfort I can get it, the better. But I think that is it in terms of the bike. Now, I don't have any complaints with the bike so far. It's been really nice. It obviously looks, or for me anyway, I really like the look of it, and it's obviously a lot more aero than I'd have on a road bike. But saying that, there are a couple of things which are a little bit annoying that I've encountered so far with this bike. I don't think they're anyone's fault, maybe, but when I ordered the bike, the photo that it had on the website was actually slightly different to this model. I think that this is a discontinued model, because I spoke to the company and they said that they no longer have this bike. I don't know what was discontinued. I didn't want to ask because it'd probably scare me, but there you are. The couple of things are, one, well actually the frame set, the photo, the tubes, these are, you know, kind of deeper profile and a bit more aero, but the tube profiles were actually even deeper than this. And again, the fork was kind of this width, but the whole way down, which would have been nice. It would have looked a little bit cooler, but it is what it is. And then the other thing was the front end. As you can see here, this kind of base bar sits almost lower than the frame itself. It really dips down. That's a little bit annoying because in the photo that was a little bit higher. It was maybe here, so obviously when I'm sat on my seat in the base bar position, I'm actually still really quite low. And on an Ironman, it'd be nice to have a point where, if you did need it, where you could really sit up and kind of stretch your back out a little bit. So that's a little bit annoying. And obviously I can't change that because this is all an integrated system, so it's all one piece. But, you know, there's no harm in, you know, being a little bit more aero, I suppose, if I'm in the base bar. Hopefully it just, you know, got to try and get used to it a little bit more. The other thing, which is probably the most annoying thing out of this all, is obviously when you buy a TT bike or a triathlon bike, you kind of want it to be quite adjustable so you can get the position perfect for you. And one massive thing which you want to be able to adjust is your seat, like the fore and aft in your seat. Now, the image that I saw when I purchased this bike, the seat post was up here. It had an adjustment, so you could actually, I think it had a few different positions, so you could have it either inline, set back, or set forward. This one is obviously fixed quite far backwards. When you're looking to do a triathlon, you want that seat kind of as far forward as you can get it, so then you can open up again your hip angle, put more power out, make it a little bit more comfy, and then run better off the bike. I can't do that with this. Again, I spoke to them and I said, look, the photo had this seat post in, can I get one? Happily to buy one, you know, money wasn't the issue there. They said no, because it's discontinued, they don't stock them anymore. A little bit worrying, but you know, it is what it is. It wasn't expensive. Like I say, it's kind of got everything I need. It's kind of why I opted for this seat as well, as it's got quite long seat rails, so I can get it quite far back, which gets the seat quite far forward. It's almost in line, I think, with the bottom bracket, so it does the job. It is comfy. It's not horrendous, but just a little bit annoying. It would have been nice to have that adjustability. Like I said, again with this, would have been nice to be able to set that up a little bit higher. But all in all, it's not been a bad bike so far. I'm sure it's probably going to end up changing in the next 6 months when I do my Ironman. I will very quickly go through a couple of things that I'm kind of teetering with trying. A couple of bits that I will definitely need. So to start with, I will need a hydration system. Probably going to go with like a profile design one up at the front, so when you're in aero you can refill, and then obviously you have a straw so you can drink from there. Probably get a cage for the back so I can put 2 more drinks in the back. Honestly, not sure I'm going to have this on race day. I don't know. I will need a bento box up here so I can put my gels. I'm probably going to need to figure out somewhere to put spares as well, like spare tubes and stuff. Potentially could put it in this one. I don't know, if anyone's got any ideas, let me know in the comments. I would love to see the different sort of systems that you've got set up, where you've got your hydration systems and where you store your tubes and stuff. Obviously on the higher end bikes, things like storage for that all come integrated. This again is a slightly cheaper one, so it doesn't come with all kind of the add-ons like that for triathlon specific riding. And the one other thing that I've kind of been thinking about, which to do for a video along with test out, is actually make a disc wheel, or make that back wheel into a disc wheel, using one of the, you can kind of get some kits off eBay where you get some sheet and then and kind of tape it all together and make it into a disc wheel, which would be quite interesting to see if it works. Maybe it'll make me more aero, maybe it will knock off 4 million minutes from my time. So that is my bike. I hope you like it. I certainly do. Again, in the comments, let me know if you've got any suggestions of hydration systems or places to store things, or any quirky little mods that you've done on your triathlon bikes, or just your triathlon builds themselves. I'd love to see them actually. So maybe you can share them with me one way or another. Maybe on my Instagram you can send them to me. But yeah, there we are, my bike. I hope you have enjoyed this one. It might have been a bit more of a boring one because I've just been sat here talking rather than exercising. But there we are, that's my bike, that's my build, that's what I've done so far. Like I say, it is most likely going to change, because what cyclist doesn't end up buying new parts like every month for their bike? I know I certainly do. I shall see you in the next video. Again, tag me in your bikes, I'd love to see them. I love looking at bikes. Please do like the video if you like my bike. If you don't, like it anyway, it would be nice. Please do subscribe, it is free, it makes me feel good, and you can always change your mind in the future if you want to. And yeah, I shall see you in the next video.